Long time no see, I guess. Welcome again. I'm here with two of my best friends who love 2D drawings, right? Now, I'm really hoping that you're enjoying the show so far. And this morning you saw that we did a big announcement about how Dassault Systems is going to evolve from where we are to the Gen 7. And Gen 7 is all about virtual companions, artificial intelligence-driven generative experiences, and so on. And glad to tell you that DraftSight and 2D CAD is an integral part of that vision. Why so? We will explain to you today. Now, 30 years back, in 1995, as you know, SolidWorks was launched in a world that was dominated by 2D CAD. There were 3D applications, but they were very expensive. And they were difficult to use, where SolidWorks, what we did was we offered a unique value proposition, ease of use, enhanced user experience, at a very affordable price. And on a very affordable hardware, which was essentially Windows operating system was literally evolving at that time. And SolidWorks rapidly elevated the designers who were using 2D CAD back then and ensured that those departments, they transformed into 3D. So we tried to go in those design departments and help them come to the world of 2D. But we noticed that while we were expanding in this 3D world, the 2D CAD was also growing. Now, why was that? We were, in a way, we were replacing 2D CAD in engineering. So the question was, who was still using 2D CAD? And why? Well, you were, right? 3D is my passion, but I would like to know more about what keeps 2D going and to answer a few other questions. So to help me understand here, I have industry process experts, Jack Lane and Tom Tremblay. Now, Tom, let's start with you. You have been in 3D world, you have been in 2D world. So you were in 3D world, you came back to 2D world. Why?
Well, you know, as you mentioned, I started with a SolidWorks reseller. I was where I was using SolidWorks, demoing it, teaching it, way back in SolidWorks 95, that original release. But even way back then, one of the things that I saw that excited the users was that after they were done creating their 3D models, evaluating the fit and function, they got their 2D drawings for free. Better yet, those drawings would update as the model changed. That was so valuable because most companies still have and had then their legal product definition as a 2D drawing. But what I found interesting was that for every seat of SolidWorks that was being adopted, there were still 2 or 3 users creating critical information in 2D.
Actually, some of you might know it. I started my career in SolidWorks in 1998. And for a small part, I was also leading the 2D drawings for SolidWorks, in the sense, if you create models in 3D, we help you create 2D drawings, right? Yep. So we have invested a great deal of resources, time, money, in order to ensure that going from 3D to 2D drawings, it must exceed the expectations of our users, you know? But there are still people who start from scratch, who start to create 2D drawings from scratch. Why?
Well, in any manufacturing company, in any industry, there are a lot of people outside of engineering that create their own 2D drawings, which contain the knowledge and know-how to bring the products to market. Sometimes they do leverage the 3D data created in engineering, but often they're working independently, doing plant layouts, electrical or P&ID schematics, and other common drawings specific to their role. Sometimes that detail is added, but many companies like Knapheide, who we'll hear from in just a few minutes, still use 2D to create configurations of their complex products, even though there are 3D-based solutions available. We know a lot of our customers will use 2D drawings with their customers to quickly sort out what their customers need and what changes they need to make their products to make it work for their customers' specific needs. I'm sure that many of the people here just need drawings that are different from the ones engineering produces, and 2D makes it easy for them to get what they need. You'll see this in AEC as well.
I see. So that makes perfect sense. And I see my friend Marty there. Hi, Marty. So Jack, Tom just mentioned that it is still used in AEC, but we know that there is a growing popularity in terms of BIM solutions like CATIA. Do people still create 2D drawings for AEC?
Absolutely. In the architectural space, 2D is still the communications tool and heavily used in design. Many builders and trades exclusively use 2D when they create construction details, electrical and plumbing diagrams, door and window schedules, and even the landscape drawings for some of the most advanced buildings in the world. There's also a legal aspect. If a builder needs a permit, they have to submit a 2D drawing to obtain it. Additionally, final designs for buildings come in the form of signed and stamped 2D drawings and documents. And if an aspect of the building fails during construction or operation, the first thing that's referenced are the 2D drawings. These people choose 2D because it works for them and their needs, and it also just simply keeps costs down.
Okay, and that's a very interesting point, that not everything or every level of detail that is offered by BIM needs to be in there, right? But what about those who create 3D virtual twins? Are they still going to need 2D drawings?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Similar to manufacturing, people who are creating virtual twins in AEC still need to create their floor plans, sections, elevations as 2D drawings. This makes it easy to communicate with everyone involved in the project. And 2D is simply just the standard practice and expectation of everyone involved. We need to recognize that 2D and 3D complement each other. In the big picture, it's not 2D or 3D, it's 2D and 3D. In fact, for most people in the AEC industry, the only thing as important as creating 2D drawings is that they're in the DWG format.
In fact, that's funny that you said it is not 2D or 3D, it is 2D and 3D, because I remember when I joined as a modeling developer, surfacing developer. At some point, I was given 2D drawing as the role. And some people had said, why are you trying to take that role? 2D, no one in the world is going to create 2D. And lo and behold, here we are, right?
Yep. Yep.
So yes, 2D has to exist with 3D and vice versa. It cannot be just one word. Okay. Now, the DWG format that DraftSight uses, it's very important for our clients, right? How many people in this room are creating DWG format or have produced DWG formats? Almost everyone, I guess, right? Now, Jack, why do you think this specific format is so important for us?
Well, having DraftSight's native file format as DWG is critical to our customers because, like you said, many of them have tens of thousands of DWGs. A lot of people may not know it, but that file format has been around since the late 1970s. And of course, SOLIDWORKS, CATIA, and every other 3D tool that we find in manufacturing and AEC can import or export DWG to some extent. Companies like Sealed Air tell us that 60% of their legacy data is still in the DWG format, even though they've been developing new products in 3D using SOLIDWORKS for years. By basing DraftSight on DWG, we make it easy for companies that have been using 2D CAD for decades to not have to worry about transitioning their legacy data. This is a huge consideration when companies look at moving to DraftSight.
Now, there is no file translation needed. I can see that. And that's wonderful, because changing file formats is always difficult. I mean, whether it's 2D, 3D, it doesn't matter. Changing file format is a complicated business. But that's one part of it. How about the retraining needed in order for someone to move to DraftSight? That can be a real challenge for the companies, right? You have a trained workforce on using certain software, if you have to use DraftSight, will it make it difficult knowing that every single company runs on a very tight schedule and limited budget?
Well, fortunately for people that are working with existing systems, DraftSight requires little, if any, retraining. In fact, DraftSight will use even the legacy command names those users are used to. For example, in DraftSight, there's no purge command. There is a clean command, which does the same thing, and if a user types purge, it will just open the clean dialog. We are really going out of our way to not be disruptive to the existing users. To show you how far we've taken this, last year, the beta exam testing for the certified DraftSight associate exam was available. I reached out to 2 longtime users of another CAD system who had never touched DraftSight. And one of them got a 90, or in the 90s, and one of them got a perfect score.
Perfect score.
Perfect score.
Okay, so no skill required in the sense if you are skilled, you just transition.
Absolutely.
Awesome, that's awesome. Now, if DraftSight doesn't require translation of data or even translation of skills, that's great, but then what are the couple of advantages or differentiators, I would say, that should bring me to DraftSight?
Sure. Well, DraftSight does have some wonderful and unique features that really help user productivity. But one of the things that's appreciated by all of our clients is that DraftSight is incredibly affordable when it comes compared to the competition. A lot of our new customers are suffering from increasing prices and limitations on license sharing, so we still offer shareable network licensing so those occasional users don't need a dedicated license. We frequently speak with clients who tell us that the ever-increasing costs are limiting their ability to make investments in their teams, like things like the 3D Experience platform.
I think the flexibility of DraftSight's offerings is also a differentiator. DraftSight Professional is a great and basic 2D CAD tool, but DraftSight Premium adds advanced 2D CAD features that can work with 3D as well. And on top of this is the option of using 3D Experience DraftSight or connecting DraftSight Desktop to the 3D Experience platform. This still gives customers choices on how they can get complete access to their intelligence of their organization. Either way will give users the ability to collaborate with others, as well as include that organization's intelligence directly inside of their drawings. But for me, I think the most exciting aspect of our flexibility is where we're going in the future.
Future, okay. That's interesting because we have been making investments into DraftSight, and we have been creating innovative solutions for our clients, you, essentially. Would you gentlemen care to give us some insights, some vision? What are we going to expect in DraftSight in future?
Yeah, I can begin with what I kind of mentioned a minute ago, 2D and 3D working together. For those in the audience not already using or aware of BIM methodologies, it's based on creating a virtual twin that is meant to be the central source of information for a building design and construction project. However, a lot of the contractors and subcontractors on a project will actually end up creating their own drawings because the architect's drawings that they may generate don't exactly fit their needs. To help with this situation, DraftSight Premium will have a new BIM module to allow teams to work from the BIM model, offering them a generative experience. This allows them to extract geometry and information they need to do material takeoffs, door schedules, and many other previously tedious tasks directly from the virtual twin. With this BIM module, DraftSight will allow users to import and work with Revit and IFC data to define the views that they need directly from the virtual twin. They can then add all of the additional detailing, geometry, and whatever else they may need in their drawings. And the best part is all of that work is in the file format that they need DWG. And on top of that, if the virtual twin data used to create those drawings is updated, all of the corresponding drawings and data updates automatically as well. This includes plans, sections, their schedules that they've created, as well as any other data extracted from that virtual twin.
Actually, that's a lot of value addition in a very short period of time. That's great. Be sure to look at the schedules of our technical sessions tomorrow to learn more about the BIM capabilities of DraftSight. Now, Tom, I heard that we continue to build or bring the power of and performance of xDraftSight, which is a new offer. I'm not sure if everyone is even aware of it. Maybe you'll have to explain it. It's a version of DraftSight that we launched last year. It runs completely in the web browser. It is part of the X family of our products. We call it X family because that family runs entirely on web browser that you will be able to run from anywhere, any device. Can you share some more info on xDraftSight?
Yes. xDraftSight is an application in the DraftSight creator role for those of you already on the 3D Experience platform. It can import, create, edit, or export DWG, as well as other formats like DGN or PDF. Because it's on the platform, it can manage and collaborate with anyone that is connected to the platform. It's a strictly 2D tool, but of course for, 90% of the users, that's not a limitation at all. We really see this as a tremendous tool for clients who need to be able to contribute to their products and projects from anywhere. I'm hoping that a lot of our existing customers will take a look at xDraftSight, and if you're here and you would like to try DraftSight for yourselves, I'd like to invite you to our hands-on test drive that's happening 8:30 Wednesday morning. And if you go by the TD Cynics booth in the playground, we have a computer set up with xDraftSight on it as well, if you'd like to give it a try.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. It's rewarding to see how DraftSight is continuing to serve the needs of our clients and our customers here today and around the world, for that matter. We see that 2D and 3D data are not only connected, but they are complementary. Not only are we in a very in an environment where the communication is the criticality of communication, the mediums that you use in order to convey those that data around, it is going to remain a critical element for achieving the broader vision that you have for your future and the future of humanity, for that matter. Because a lot of big, for example, telescopes. I shouldn't really. Okay, I'll stick with my script. But there are some really large objects which are built, which can only be built with 2D. I'll stick there, okay? As you heard earlier today in the general session, we are entering the 7th gen in terms of our Dassault Systèmes vision to help our clients connect with that world. And we are going to do that by helping to create, communicate, and document your experiences, essentially, into the future products by remaining connected through the entire cycle of life, your offerings that will evolve with intelligence. Now, you have to realize that the past was where you consumed some raw material to create a product. That product was created, then it ended up in some dump yard somewhere. And our vision is that every product that is going to get created will have to be somehow reused, and that's what we call cycle of life. So we do not believe in waste anymore. We believe in reusability. So whenever you hear cycle of life, that's what we mean. Now, I would like to thank you all for being here today on behalf of Jack and Tom, as well as entire xDraftSight team. We would love to hear back your feedback, your thoughts, how we can possibly serve you better. Now, we are done. Our section is done, but we would love to have you hear from some of our clients who are going to come on stage and share their thoughts, their experiences of how they are using DraftSight and how they are changing the world, for that matter. So with that, thank you, guys. Wish you a wonderful and great 3D experience world. Please do join tomorrow morning session. We have some really interesting stuff to show. Thank you.